Hello class, the art piece I decided to go with is Banksy's Monopoly board Occupy London. The reason I chose this art piece is due to the fact that I'm a fan of Banksy and enjoy what he does as an artist. The specific piece I chose is a powerful piece that symbolizes change and power. The Monopoly board in front of St. Paul's Cathedral during the Occupy London movement voices political resistance. With its similarities to the actual version of the Monopoly board game, the board draws more of a concerning face compared to the original. The Occupy London movement stands for change and democracy in terms of economy and social justice. Over the years, Banksy, a well-known graffiti artist, has voiced his political opinions through art, many in the form of street art. The particular piece I'm going to be talking about is one of his underrated pieces that hasn't gotten much recognition compared to his other pieces. Banksy's monopoly board at the Occupy London movement embodies the government's lack of economy and social justice, which is something that Banksy is politically passionate about. Most of Banksy's pieces revolve around controversy. His pieces can come off both humorous or political and are often noticed by many due to how he expresses himself. Most of Banksy's art comes in forms of graffiti and street art. Many art critics and the public are divided when it comes to Banksy's statues as an artist, due to the fact that he's a vandal but also a genius at the same time. Banksy is a risk taker and usually carries his art out illegally, but gets away with it due to remaining anonymous. With an anonymous identity, his art pieces resonate around the globe with important messages behind them that exemplify the type of artist he wants to be heard as. Like many of his other pieces, Banksy's infamous Occupy London movement piece draws similarities to the famously known Monopoly board. The Occupy London movement revolves around many political issues, such as economic inequality and lack of government. With the lack of government London faces, many agree that the system is untenable and unjust. Many people proclaimed an end to global tax injustice and to start representing more of the people instead of corporations. The intended goal for this movement is to change the economy and provide more for the citizens instead of corporations. Going back to Banksy's piece titled Monopoly Board at Occupy London, we can see that it revolves around the Occupy London movement. As many of us know, the Monopoly board itself revolves around economics. On the left image, we have the original Monopoly board. The goal in playing this board game pertains for the player to remain financially solvent while pushing other opponents into bankruptcy by purchasing and creating pieces of property. In Banksy's version of the board game, pictured on the right, Mr. Monopoly Man is depicted as facing bankruptcy with only one property left. Instead of Mr. Monopoly Man being happy, he seems to be sad and desperate for money to get out of bankruptcy by taking off his hat. This imagery sets to show how the people are pleading for this movement to end London's government lack of economy and provide change for the people. The piece itself pertains to what the intended message is for what the Occupy London movement wants to accomplish. A piece that compares to the Monopoly board at Occupy London is Echo of a Scream by artist David Alfaro Siqueiros. Siqueiros' painting revolves around the tragedy of the Spanish Civil War. The painting is a symbol of all humanity in pain. Most of the pain in Siqueiros' painting is seen through the screams of the children sitting amid the debris and destruction of the modern warfare. The detached head in the middle of the piece emits a massive cry that combines the pain of all the victims that aren't seen in the piece. Siqueiros himself is a Mexican political activist and a social reformer, which is something that brings more meaning to the piece. Both Siqueiros and Banksy's piece contain strong imagery in seeing the bigger picture of the issue, one pertaining to pain in terms of tragedy, and the other to political resistance. The executions of May 3, 1808 by Francisco Goya can also be seen as a comparative piece. This specific piece is painted from sketches that Goya made at the actual event. Goya's painting was a pivotal protest against Napoleon's occupational army in the city of Madrid. The riders that were caught and captured by the soldiers were executed a short distance outside the city. As we can see, The Spaniards are pictured worried, trembling, praying, and protesting to not face execution. What really stands out in the painting is the man in white who is posed like Jesus on the cross being crucified, almost hinting at hope by wearing white, which is known to be a lively heavenly color, by giving a small amount of hope for the man. Both Goya's and Banksy's piece correlate to hope. In Banksy's piece, we saw a worrisome face on Mr. Monopoly Man, and this is also what we see in the writers, mainly the one in the middle, who is wearing the white shirt. Both pieces show signs of hope, and we can see it in the imagery and symbolism of both pieces. Overall, Banksy's Monopoly board at Occupy London has some strong messages behind it that correspond to change and voicing your own opinion. Banksy's piece is portrayed by some heavy imagery to really get his message across through the use of a monopoly board symbolizing lack of economy and social justice.